Hello and welcome to another video. My name is Ray and this is the portion of my channel called Ray ADHD Reads, where we talk about everything books. And here is Frank. So excuse the noise in the background, there's construction going on outside my house. So today we are going to be talking about Weird Girl Litfic, specifically Weird Girl Litfic by Asian authors. So to start us off, we are going to be talking about my most recent read, which is Boring Asian Female by Kanwin Yu. And oh my gosh, this book was a wild ride. So this follows a girl called Elizabeth, and her dream has always been to go to Harvard Law. Now, when she gets rejected, she will do whatever she can to get into Harvard Law. And this is all sorts of unhinged. So she thinks the reason she didn't get in is because she is a boring Asian female. And somebody else got in who she thinks is an interesting Asian female. So without giving too much away, she wants to emulate this other girl. And it goes from her simply just observing this girl to much darker things. And yeah, it's a wild, wild ride. It gets more and more unhinged, and I don't even know if you can call it a good for her book. The main character is not likable. You are not supposed to like her or root for her. Yeah, and the ending is just like WTF. All of this was for nothing kind of vibes. But I loved this book. I was hooked. And it was also like, even though some dark things happened, it was also funny. Like, I was laughing throughout the book. So I gave this a 5-star. Definitely recommend. So next we have a book I read last year, which a lot of people are finally getting into. I feel like this book was so slept on. Julie Chan is Dead by Lian Zhang. Oh my gosh. I had so much fun with this book. So this follows Julie Chan, and she has a twin sister, Chloe. Julie stumbles across her dead twin's body, and instead of, phoning it into the police, she decides that she is going to take on her dead sister's influencer life and say that the dead body is Julie and that Julie is Chloe. So she lives her best life being this influencer. And it's kind of funny. This book had me laughing too. And then it takes a really weird turn near the end. A really weird turn that you don't see coming at all. And yeah, it had me hooked from the start. I absolutely adore this book. 5 out of 5 stars. Would love to read more from this author for sure. I don't even know what genre this is. I guess on the back people are calling it a thriller. I guess you could say it's a thriller, but I would also call it Weird Girl Litfic for sure. Yellow Face by R.F. Kuang. So even though this has a lot to talk about with the way race is explored in the media and in America and the world as a whole, I would also put this under the Weird Girl Litfic category. Just because of what kind of happens towards the end and how the main character kind of spirals out. So this follows a girl called Juniper, and she is friends with an Asian author who unfortunately dies at the beginning of the book, and basically Juniper takes credit for her work, which is told from an Asian perspective, and Juniper changes her pen name to Juniper Song to sound racially ambiguous and wants people to think she's Asian, basically. And people assume she's Asian, and when they find out she's not, obviously that does not go over well, and she profits a lot off of people thinking she's Asian. As the story goes on, she starts to think that she is losing her mind due to things that she is seeing and hearing, and you think it's taking a supernatural turn. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I'm not going to spoil that for you. But, yeah, I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. This character is also low-key unhinged. And R.F. Kuang, she writes the Poppy Wars series, which is a fantasy series that's really popular as well. The Eyes Are the Best Part by Monica Kim. I read that on my Kindle. Now that is a wild ride from start to finish. That is an unhinged character if I've ever seen one. So this is about an Asian female who has an insatiable hunger for human eyes, but specifically blue human eyes. And it almost is a good for her book, even though she's unaliving people to eat their eyeballs. She still was a likable character to me, because some of the people she was doing this to were really horrible people, but also I think there was innocence involved, but it was such a wild book, and like there's definitely like gore and body horror in it, so if you're squeamish, maybe it's not the book for you. It was my first introduction to Monica Kim, and it did not disappoint. It's definitely marketed as a horror, but I would call it weird girl lit fic as well. Yeah, I gave it I forget why I deducted a star, but I did give it a 4 out of 5 when I first read it. But thinking about it, I would probably bump it up to a 5 out of 5. Like, it was thoroughly entertaining. Okay. Bat Eater and Other Names for Cora Zhang by Kylie Lee Baker. This book was so good. I cannot describe it. So I think it was marketed as a thriller / horror. So you're following Cora, and she is a crime scene cleanup. Oh my god, why did my brain she cleans up crime scenes, okay? And the book starts with her sister being pushed in front of a train by someone who whispers Bat Eater and then pushes her in front of a train as an anti-Asian hate crime. This is taking place during the Panini, and you're seeing a rise in anti-Asian hate crimes during this time in the States. And as Cora's going around with her friends cleaning up crime scenes, they're noticing that the victims are all Asian women, and they have like bats stuffed down their throats and stuff like that. And Cora's starting to make connections and trying to figure out who the culprit is. Is this linked to what happened to her sister? And meanwhile, there's also some supernatural stuff going on, linked to like Chinese culture. And I found that aspect really unique and interesting as well. Yeah, the story was really good. I was intrigued. I was hooked. I had to find out how it was going to end. I really felt empathy for Cora, and it's never said directly, but from my experience and how they describe Cora, I'm pretty sure she's meant to have OCD. So I felt so seen in that regard. And I gave this a solid 5 out of 5 stars. Finally, we have Natural Beauty by Lingling Huang, which I also read on my Kindle. Now this book is a wild ride. So you start with an Asian female who is down and out. She lost her job and she starts working for this beauty cosmetics company and using their products. And there's something up with these products. They start changing her appearance, at first subtly, but then she notices some bigger changes, which I'm not going to say what the changes are because I feel like that'll give too much away. But there's definitely a big, deeper message behind the book when you notice what the changes are with her. And you feel like that's the main message of the book, which it probably is. But then beyond that, towards the end, as the book progresses, it gets really weird. They're not just a beauty company trying to alter people's appearances. They're doing weird experiments. That's all I'm going to say about that. And yeah, it gets wacky and disturbing. And when you find out what's going on, you're literally like, WTF? What am I reading? Because that was my reaction. I was like, what is going on? What am I reading? Because that was not what I was expecting to happen at all. That came out of nowhere. So definitely fits in the weird girl lit fic category for sure. And I gave that a 4 out of 5 stars. Probably could bump that up to a 5 now in further reflection. Honestly, all the books in this could be a 5-star, between a 4 or 5-star. Like, they were all so good. I would recommend all of them. Like, would definitely read them all again. Like, they were all hits. No complaints. Not a single disappointment. If you like thrillers, if you like plot twists, if you like to have the occasional WTF moment, if you like weird girl lit fic, if you like Asian representation in books, if you are like me and are an Asian weird girl, then all of these books are for you. Go forth, have fun reading. Pick up one of these books. You will not be disappointed. As always, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!